Okay, welcome to Scotland's Angular Meetup. Today talk is about Angular and WordPress as a headless CMS. I'm Esteban from Argentina, currently settling in the UK, and I will share with you my app building process with like findings, struggles. So let's get started, and I'm gonna share my screen with you. And let's go to, can you see it right? Yeah. Yeah.
We can see your screen. Yeah.
That's perfect. So there we go. Let's, it's COVID times. We can't travel by plane, but we can travel with our imagination. And let's travel to Argentina. That's where I'm from. And let's see a map here. You see this red drop pin there. So we are here in the UK, up there, and let's cross the Atlantic. And yeah, I live here. I used to live there, sorry, in Buenos Aires province, that red spot, Coronel Suarez. So there, there's a shop, a pasta shop from a friend. He's the owner. I'll show you some pictures here of how it looks like. I would like to show you first the outside. That's the shop, Vittorio Pastas, Italian cuisine. You see all the cooking stuff on top. So yeah, this guy really likes pasta, and yeah, he's got a really nice place with places for eating inside, cooking. He gives courses, and he's got all these things, but he was missing something. He needed a website just to build his reputation. And it's good to have a website when you're talking to someone and you tell them, oh, okay, yeah, I'm an owner, or yeah, I have a pasta shop. And yeah, if you share a website, it increases your credibility. So there was one requirement. So he needed a website that could be edited by him without the need of having a developer. So I'm gonna jump forward a little bit, but yeah, this is the final product I gave him. Nice application where there are yeah, like pictures showing the place, products, here nice widget, workshops, all the things he does, but he needed to show to people. Like, yeah, services, blog posts. So yeah, he needed something that he could do himself, edit it himself without me having to touch code or do any work. So that was kind of a challenge, because with Angular, I could have chosen to use Angular and maybe build a backend and then build part of the front end that could access the backend to add new, for example, events or products. That was kind of cumbersome, so I didn't want to go that route. So I came across something which is called WordPress. And WordPress is something that was born as a blogging platform, but then it expanded a lot. So here we have WordPress. Look at the address wordpress.org, not to be confused with wordpress.com, which is something different. So here in wordpress.org, we have the definition and all the information about it. It's an open source software that you can use to create a beautiful website, blog, or app. Well, that's kind of marketing stuff, but it's open source software, and it's a bunch of PHP files running on a server and with SQL databases. So it's a backend application that can be used to create HTML files as well. So it can be on charge of presenting the front end to clients. So this was an option I could do, but at that time I didn't know how to build a website with WordPress, and not at the moment. So yeah, I never learned how to do it. But this WordPress PHP application has a REST API. So I don't know if you're familiar with it. A REST API is like having endpoints to perform different type of operations. So this API is like, we have the PHP application, and it exposes data, JSON data, to the world in different on different endpoints. So here you can see in developer WordPress.org. You can check it yourselves later on, REST API. So it's a matter of, it tells us that we can use this application with other types of apps, like in our case, an Angular app, which is a JavaScript application. So yeah, WordPress can use to generate the HTML, or it can be used as a headless CMS. That's the route I'm going to show you. So that was interesting, having this API thing. And here we can see that yeah, the endpoints we have, like posts. These are just the default endpoints, but yeah, just so you can see media, for example, pictures. So this is super useful. We can store all our pictures there and then retrieve them from the Angular app. So this is what I was looking for at that time. Let me check my notebook here. That's perfect. So yeah, in the end, that's what I decided. Use this WordPress PHP application and use the API to connect it with the JavaScript application. So yeah, let me show you now. This was the first bit of the project, choosing the tech stack, which took me some time to figure out, but it was nice reading about it. I need to mention that I did a course on WordPress, because otherwise it could have been difficult to do it, even though I didn't use WordPress to generate the HTML, but just to use the REST API and interact with it. I needed that. Okay, so I'm gonna get back to WordPress later on, but yeah, at that time I had decided, okay, I'm gonna use WordPress for storing data and Angular to show the front end. And then it was a matter of looking for a template. I wasn't gonna code everything from scratch. So then I went to themeforest.net, looked for Angular templates, and I looked for something that could be used for like cooking stuff, because you have different styles. So yeah, you can't use a template for construction company for a restaurant. So it was a matter of looking the suitable template. I found this one, $16. It was good price. So yeah, I bought it, and yeah, it's the template I use. I had to tweak it a little bit with colors and that stuff, but it was really, really handy to have a template. Okay, so I coded. I started modifying the template, and then I stored it in Firebase. Oh, we have new people, I think, coming here. Shivam, I'm gonna admit it. It's perfect. So, yes, I hosted in here in Firebase. So the Angular app was hosted here in Firebase. That was the first bit of the project. Angular template, hosting it in Firebase. And then it came the turn of buying the domain name and all that stuff, which I hadn't done at that time. It was my first time doing this. So I went to Hostinger, and then I bought the domain name and bought the hosting. But maybe you're thinking about, yeah, but you already hosted the Angular app there. Okay, but that's the front end. So now I need some server to host my PHP application, and Firebase, yeah, it's just for Node. So yeah, I needed something to host the PHP stuff. So Hostinger was a good choice. And then I bought a domain name. I can show you a little bit how it looks like, this Hostinger service. It was pretty cheap. That's why the owner went for it. There are different plans, but yeah, we got a pretty basic one because it's a small application. So yeah, I bought this domain, vittoriopastas.com. It's the domain name you see up here in the final application. So yeah, here what I did, kind of tricky, but yeah, the front end, the Angular application is on Firebase. And here I bought a domain on Hostinger, but yeah, how do I use this main domain name, vittoriopastas.com, for the front end app in Firebase? Well, there was I needed to do some DNS configuration, and then I linked the Firebase hosting service with that domain. So then you can see that vittoriopastas.com is connected. So I'm using the main domain name to display the front-end application. But then I needed somewhere to install the WordPress PHP app and use it. So what I did, I created a subdomain, which is, let's try to see it here. Taking long to load. Subdomains, and then I created a subdomain. You can see here, wp.vittoriopastas.com. So then I installed WordPress there. It's a matter of just clicking a button that says install WordPress. And the good thing is that now I've got two applications and I paid just for one domain. So paid once, used twice. That was good. I didn't want to buy two domains, one for the front-end app and one for the back-end application to be exposed. So yeah, it made sense to create a subdomain. If you have questions, yeah, write them down, because yeah, and we can talk it later on. And because yeah, maybe there are a few things going on here that maybe they're not super clear, but yeah, split the domain. Yeah, I use the domain name, the main one for the front end, and subdomain for the PHP application. And yeah, so far you might wondering, okay, but yeah, what's WordPress? How does it look like? So yeah, I'm gonna show you in a sec how it looks like. So I told you that I installed this WordPress application here in the subdomain. So let's visit it. You can see here, we have a generally you type the subdomain, and then here, this is like where you can access the dashboard. You press enter, and then anyone with the right credentials can access it. I'm gonna access it. I hope it's the right. Okay, there we go. Well, it's in Spanish. Can quickly, I think I can quickly change it to English so you can understand better. Español, Argentina. No, we're gonna change it to English, United States, so you can understand what's going on here. So yeah, there we go. We have a lot of things here. Yeah, I know what happened. Sorry again. Okay, there we go. This is a dashboard. So this PHP application installed in the subdomain wp.vitoriopastas.com has a dashboard to interact with the backend application. So the owner of the shop can easily update things, create new events, add new products. You see here all the data I've got here. I've got posts. This is the blog posts he can write. Let's access it. So las cepas italianas, the Italian varieties of wine. Don't know how to translate it. But yeah, all this data is edited here, and it can be done by the owner of the shop himself without me having to code at all. So it has an update button or publish. It depends on which stage you are. So yeah, so I'm going to show you that this data if we go down to, you see, las cepas italianas, the Italian wine varieties. So yeah, all this data, if you see here, it's a blog post about talking Italian types of wine. And then maybe he forgot to do something or to add something. I'm gonna do a quick edit. It's not gonna harm the website a lot. So I'm gonna add a second point here, like 3 dots at the end of the first paragraph. So maybe the owner wanted to do it. He just clicks update and the magic happens. We're gonna see something here. I'm gonna reload the page and you should see here 3 dots popping up. Reload it. Okay, there we go. It was updated live here. So I'm gonna revert the changes quickly so it stays the same. I'm gonna update. I'm gonna reload and everything should be back to normal as it was. Well, he can do this kind of changes to almost anything here because the background images are data types. He can modify. He can add many things and change by himself. Yeah, let me check my notebook and see what I need to show you. Okay, remember that I talked about the endpoints, and at this point we can check that the endpoints are being exposed. Let's do this thing of going to the subdomain, and let's try to look for events, for example. You see, when I hit this subdomain, and this is the API route events, and then we see that's JSON data that comes from the PHP application. So this is how these two applications can connect and talk to each other. In my case, the front-end application just does get requests. It doesn't modify data, it just consumes it and displays it. But we can talk to this PHP app, like posting stuff and yeah, doing many things. So doing CRUD operations. So this is how it works. And we have events, for example, or media. Here, all the pictures should be exposed from the PHP app. And if we click on one, we should see a picture. Okay, I know what happened. Here, I'm being redirected to the main application, because if I click something that it's in the subdomain, it has an automatic redirect. So that's something I set it up because I didn't want the subdomain, which is the PHP app, to display any front end. I just wanted to, if something hit it accidentally, I wanted that person to be redirected to the main application, not the backend one. Okay. Yeah, it looks easy at this stage, but there was one day when I was trying to connect these applications and I was really stuck. I'm going to show you now the Angular application and how it's connected, because so far we have seen about the template, the Angular template, where it's hosted. We talked about the WordPress app, where it's hosted. And now, yeah, let's talk about how they are connected. I'm going to show you some code here, which is the template, this cookie template. And I coded a service here. So this is pretty technical. I used behavior subjects to store data there. The reason was that I just wanted to do one request per data type when the app loads, and not multiple requests when each page is accessed. So that was a matter of, yeah, strategy. But in the end, I want to show you that, yeah, it's a matter of doing HTTP calls to these endpoints, like, for example, here, load all posts, and then hitting the posts endpoint. Here, there are some query parameters like order by or filter, but the important thing is that to understand that, yeah, I've been hitting these endpoints from the application and then redistributing them. So that was pretty nice. I can show you a little bit of the home page. I used async. So Nikos saw my code, and I was doing a lot of subscriptions in the TypeScript file. So I sorted out, and then, yeah, I used all observables. So yeah, any subscriptions here, it was a matter of using a sync pipe to display data. So yeah, I was talking about that difficult day when I was trying to connect these things, and what happened is there was a course issue, and I was using Postman. Postman is maybe you have used it. I can show you quickly. I was using Postman. I was using this application to do request to the API, the PHP, the WordPress app, and it was working well. And when I was trying to do from the Angular app, I was getting course errors. Like that day, I spent it, yeah, trying to connect, and I thought, okay, that was a bad idea. I shouldn't have done this. But in the end, I sorted it out, and it was a matter of having SSL certificates for the subdomain where the PHP app lives. So that sorted out. And then, yeah, connecting them can be tricky sometimes, because you need to, yeah, like from the course perspective, you need to allow GET requests from the front-end application domain. So it was a matter of tweaking some PHP files for the REST API configuration to accept requests from the front-end application. But that's pretty technical, and I don't want to get into it now. So yeah, I think I haven't forgot anything. Yeah, I think I've been talking for nearly half an hour. Yeah, I would like